The Thermador E-Griddle is one of our favorite tools to use here in the showroom. It is such a unique appliance to cook with. This griddle is made from titanium that's bonded to steel. Why is that special? Well, it's not Teflon, it's not toxic, and it doesn't scratch off. Now, we use the griddle obviously for breakfast. This is a great tool because look at the variety of foods you can cook at one time. You can please every member of the family without having to get out 3 or 4 skillets. When you're cooking on the griddle, you can use either silicone to push grease down into the drip tray, or you can use metal spatulas. The metal will not scratch the surface. The griddle plate actually overhangs the drip tray, so you'll find that it's very easy to cook and to keep excess grease off the griddle plate at all times. And the best thing is, when it comes time to clean the griddle, simply take a kitchen towel, warm soapy water, and wipe the surface clean. The drip tray can go in the dishwasher. The whole plate can in fact go into the dishwasher if necessary, but we find that we do that very, very rarely. Now, breakfast is an obvious choice when using the griddle, but I'm going to show you a few other dishes to inspire you to get some really good use out of your griddle. So here's another great use of the griddle. You're having lunch with the family on the weekend. Somebody wants a quesadilla. Somebody else wants panini sandwiches, maybe a burger, and some vegetables. This is so easy. Simply fire up the griddle and you have no need of several different saucepans. And once you finish cooking, you're going to wipe the surface clean and wash out the drip tray. When you're using the griddle, as with any pan, preheat it for about 5 to 6 minutes. So I usually preheat it on 400 degrees, and when it's nice and hot, if I need a little hotter, I go to 450, or I drop it down to 350. Now, you know when you cook pancakes, the first 1 or 2 might be a little bit off. You won't find that with the E-Griddle when you cook pancakes. As long as you get your temperature nice and even, preheat it on 400, drop it to 350, and it should stay consistently hot the whole time, and you won't have any discarded pancakes. When you find that you have a very large cut of meat to sear prior to braising, where would you turn? Saucepans or your E-Griddle? Well, I know which tool I use. This is a large cut of brisket, and even though I have some very large pans, it's much easier for me to heat up the griddle and sear large cuts of meat here. Again, cleanup is a snap. What are some other cuts of meat that you could sear on the griddle? Well, short ribs, pot roast, and we actually sear turkey pieces before braising them. So think outside the box. Instead of reaching for the skillet or the pan, heat up the griddle and let these great tools work for you. Now here's another dish we love to cook on the E-Griddle, fried rice. Nothing could be simpler. Simply take some leftover rice that's nicely dried out, saute a mixture of vegetables. You could add some shrimp, a little pork or chicken, whatever you have at hand, and use the griddle for your stir fry. So, once you've finished, you can push the rice to the back to hold it warm, and instead of getting out another skillet, say you'd like to sear some fish. Well, let's go for it. When you sear fish or meat on the E-Griddle, the benefit is you won't shred it. Sometimes in a skillet, you can get the skillet a bit too hot, so when you turn the meat or the fish, kind of tears at the texture of the meat or fish. The griddle will never, ever have that problem. But in order to cook the food through, you either have to put a lid over it once you've turned it, or put it on a tray and finish cooking it in the oven. So now I've shown you some of my favorite ways of using the Thermador griddle. It really is a remarkable tool. So next time you go to reach for a skillet to cook something, just ask yourself, can I cook it on my E-Griddle? And you might be surprised, maybe you can. Now, if you like to do a lot of indoor grilling, even if it's just to get the lovely cross marks on fish or vegetables or bread, Thermador also offers a fabulous grill accessory. It's the same titanium surface material bonded to heavyweight steel, and it's going to give you fantastic results. Where it really excels is if you have pieces of fish or chicken or beef that have been marinated. It has a little sugar in the marinade. When you cook them on the grill, you will never ever burn those pieces of meat. So it's a remarkable tool. We love to use the Thermador grills and griddles for our cooking, and we hope you'll also have great success using yours.